Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kanamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Prajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavaneshwari Prishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Drubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and commentary Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse is number 24 of chapter 18.
16.
16. Okay, we'll do 16. Yes, divine and demoniac natures. Okay, please repeat. Tasmak Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Pavashtito Gyatva Shastra Vidhanuktam Karma Kartum Ihahase Tasmak Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vavashtito Gyatva Shastra Vidhanuktam Karma Kartam Ihahase Tasmak Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vavastitau Gyatva Shastra Vidhanuktam Karma Kartam Ihahase. Word for word, please repeat. Tasmat, therefore, Shastram, the scriptures, Pramanam, evidence, Te, your, Karya, duty, Akarya, and forbidden activities, Pavashtitau, in determining, Yakva, knowing, Shastra, of scripture, Vidhana, the regulations, Uktam, as declared, Karma, work, Kartum, do, Iha, in this world, Ahasi, you should. Translation Srila Prabhupada. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may be gradually elevated. Okay, please repeat. One should therefore understand.
One should therefore understand
What is duty?
what is duty
And what is not duty?
and what is not duty
By the regulations of the scriptures.
by the regulation of the scriptures.
Knowing such rules and regulations,
Knowing such rules and regulations,
one should act
one should act
so that he may gradually
so that he may gradually
be elevated.
be elevated.
Purport Srila Prabhupada. As stated in the 15th chapter, all the rules and regulations of the Vedas are meant for knowing Krishna. If one understands Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita and becomes situated in Krishna consciousness, engaging himself in devotional service, he has reached the highest perfection of knowledge offered by the Vedic literature. Lord Chaitanya made this process very easy. He asked people simply to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and to engage in the devotional service of the Lord and eat the remnants of foodstuff offered to the deity. One who is directly engaged in all these devotional activities is to be understood as having studied all Vedic literature. He has come to the conclusion perfectly. Of course, for the ordinary persons who are not in Krishna consciousness or who are not engaged in devotional service, what is to be done and what is not to be done must be decided by the injunctions of the Vedas. One should act accordingly without argument. That is called following the principle of Shastra, or scripture. Scripture is without the four principal defects that are visible in the conditioned soul: imperfect senses, the propensity for cheating, certainty of committing mistakes, and certainty of being illusioned. These four principal defects in conditioned life disqualify one from putting forth rules and regulations. Therefore, rules and regulations as described in the Shastra, being above these defects, are accepted without alterations by all great saints, acharyas, and great souls. In India, there are many parties of spiritual understanding, generally classified as two, the impersonalist and the personalist. Both of them, however, lead their lives according to the principles of the Vedas. Without following the principles of the scriptures, one cannot elevate himself to the perfectional stage. One who actually therefore understands the purport of the Shastras is considered fortunate. In human society, aversion to the principles of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all fall downs. That is the greatest offense of human life. Therefore, Maya, the material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always giving us trouble in the shape of the threefold miseries. The material energy is constituted of the three modes of material nature. One has to raise himself at least to the modes of goodness before the path to understanding the Supreme Lord can be opened. Without raising oneself to the standard of the mode of goodness, one remains in ignorance and passion, which are the cause of demoniac life. Those in the modes of passion and ignorance deride the scriptures, deride the holy man, and deride the proper understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They disobey the instructions of the spiritual master, and they do not care for the regulations of scriptures. In spite of hearing the glories of devotional service, they are not attracted. Thus, they manufacture their own way of elevation. These are some of the defects of human society which lead to the demoniac status of life. If, however, one is able to be guided by a proper and bona fide spiritual master who can lead one to the path of elevation to the higher stage, then one's life becomes successful. Makam karochi vachalam bhangam laite girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru dinatarinam. Tasmak shastram pramanam te karya vavastito gyatva shastra vido noktam karma kartam iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Yeah, so one should act. That means we have choice. We've discussed this often, right? We're the living entity, we have choice. We have free will, as they say. We have a range of activities we can perform. We have a range of things we can say. We have a range of thoughts that we can dwell upon. But one should act. That means it's a suggestion. One should act, Krishna is saying. One should choose that which one may be elevated by. So this is the important point. And the important point we've discussed many times, that if you act correctly, then you will be elevated. Because the material energy is action and reaction. It's under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. Devotees are largely free of action and reaction by his shelter. But the materialists who are not situated in devotional service, they don't have the understanding of the Supreme Person, they are speculative in their ideas of the material world, those people are under the modes. So, as Prabhupada says here, it's very interesting, because in these last two verses of this chapter, one, it's talking about the Shastra, how important it is. But in the last sentence, if, however, one is able to be guided by a proper and bona fide spiritual master who can lead one to the path of elevation to the higher stage, then one's life becomes successful. So yes, there are three authorities in spiritual life. Three authorities are the Shastra, the sadhus, the big acharyas, the Mahajana Gata Svapantha, and then there is the bona fide spiritual master. Bona fide spiritual master is one who is Shrotriyam Brahmanishta. Shrotriyam means that he knows the conclusion of the Vedas. Shrotriyam, Shruti. There are generally three types of Shastra. There is the original Shruti, the Vedas, then the corollaries, they're called the Smriti. Shruti means those things, those Vedas, those scriptures, which are heard. And Smriti is those scriptures which are remembrances of the Vedic knowledge, and they are composed in a way to illustrate the Vedic knowledge. And then there are the Pancharatriki, Narada Pancharatriki, which is full of Vedic knowledge. So those things are called the Vedas, the Shastra. They are also, Jiva Goswami in his Sandarbhas calls them Amnaya. And the commentary in that scripture, it explains that Jiva Goswami does not recognize or does not quote anything outside the Amnaya, outside the Shruti, the Smriti, the Pancharatriki. He's not interested in quoting them. Why? Because as is stated in the Bhagavatam, they are Manodharma, man-made religion. They are not realized scriptures. They are not Vedanta Krit Vedavid Eva Chaham. So now at this festive season, all over the world, they are worshipping Santa Claus or something like this. Anyway, we don't want to condemn them too much, but the thing is, the scriptures, man-made scriptures, they cannot give darshan, they cannot give the proper understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, for all intents, they are not useful. Let's just put it that way. Because as Prabhupada said, if you remember the first paragraph, all the rules and regulations of the Vedas are meant for knowing Krishna. If one understands Krishna from Bhagavad Gita and becomes situated in Krishna consciousness, engage himself in devotional service, he has reached the highest perfection of knowledge offered by the Vedic literature. So all the rules and regulations are meant for realizing the Supreme Person. Right? That's an interesting focus. If we understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the purpose of the Vedas. So, Vedantakrit Vedavid Eva Chaham, that the Vedas are compiled by the Supreme Personality himself, Vedantakrit. That means Vedavyas. Vedavyas is the Shaktavesh Jnana avatar of the Supreme Lord. Now just imagine the Vedas, which are a vast array of spiritual knowledge, the 4 original Vedas, and then all the Puranas, and then all the other literatures that are expanded on the basis of the Puranas. But just consider the Vedas and the Puranas, and then the 5th Veda, the Mahabharata. There is no literature on the face of the earth that can compare, even from the literary point of view. But we find nowadays in the modern world that if anything east of Sumeria and Baghdad in the modern day is completely ignored, it doesn't exist, right? And when the Rothschilds in the East India Company, they invaded India in Madras trying to do business, then they saw that this place has got lots of economic potential. We can take the cotton and sell it back with lots of spices and so on and so forth. But how can we get these people subservient to our rule, right? Because we want to do business, but we also want to control the country for the purpose of business, right? The Mohammedans came, the Mughals, they came and they stayed 800 years and tried to control by violence, by suppression. Jizya, giving tax, and bullying and killing and murdering. But the British came, they thought, how can we, well, they kicked out the Muslims, and many Indian people are very happy about that. But how can we control these Indian people so we can have a good business? And they had competitions, you may know, I've read about this. They had competitions. And they figured out that the Indian people were following the rules and regulations of the Vedas. That the core of their philosophy was of their sociology, their society was the Vedas. And so if we want to weaken that society, then we have to weaken the grasp of the Vedas over the people. So they came up with the idea that the Vedas are mythology, that there's no basis in fact. They are just stories. A huge array of coordinated and integrated knowledge and yagya and advice in morality and social system and spiritual endeavor, all these things, they are just a mythology. They have no basis in fact. So that's what they did. They propagandized this idea, and they tried to weaken the Bharatvarshis, the residents, in their understanding of the Vedas. But we see nowadays that the Bharatvarshis are waking up, right? You cannot move in Vrindavan now. It is completely packed with Yatrilok, right? Now it is a little inconvenient, of course, to go here and there, but it is a very good sign. It shows that after the British left, now the Bharatvarshis are waking up. And it is remarkable that after 800 years of the Mughals and 200 years of the British telling them that their scriptures were mythology, but still the people are now waking up and they're realizing that these scriptures, they are the core of our culture, and they are not mythology. They are a description of the absolute truth and how one should live in this world. And so the Vedas, they have two dharmas. Now, dharma means duty, religion, but we'll explain that in a moment. And the two Vedas given in the two dharmas given in the Vedas are Varnashram Dharma, and the other is Sanatan Dharma. Now, Varnashram Dharma, that is, of course, describing Varna and Ashram. It describes four material orders: Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmin, and Ashram, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. And it gives advice, rules and regulations that Prabhupada explains here, for anyone, if he's situated in this position of Brahmachari, Grihastha, married, Vanaprastha, whatever. The Vedas gives rules and regulation to help that person maintain his purity and become elevated. So, that is very, very useful. Now, when Ramananda Roy was asked by Lord Chaitanya, what is sadhya, what is the goal, and what is the sadhana? Ramananda Roy started with Varnashram Dharma. He said, we should follow the rules and regulations of Varnashram. What did Mahaprabhu say? He said, this is external. So why did he say that? He didn't reject it. He said it's external. Why? Because Varnashram deals with the mind and body of the person. It gives rules and regulations according to your material situation. So then the next verse, Ramananda Roy said, Yad karosi yadadnasi yukstadosi dadasi yat. So Varnashram should be followed, but it should be followed as an offering. Whatever you do within Varnashram, whatever tapasya and so forth you perform, it should be done as an offering to me, Krishna. So that means then Mahaprabhu thought, okay, you're getting better. Go a bit further. But he liked that. Why? Because Varnashram should be accompanied by bhakti. It should be accompanied by bhakti. If it is just followed rigidly, there is a sloka in the Bhagavatam, Dharma swanastitam pumsam vikshvakshena katha. And it's says that if you just follow Varnashram, but you don't develop an attraction for hearing about the Supreme Person, then your labor, your discipline in the rules and regulations of Varnashram are useless labor. But if you perform your social duties as an offering to the Supreme, then that is bhakti, and that will give you attraction because of a service attitude towards the Supreme Lord and His instructions. So, karma yoga it is generally called. But then there was progression, and then eventually they went through Brahmano Pratishtaham. I am the Supreme Lord is the basis of Brahman, and so this is Jnana Yoga. So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So Jnana Yoga, as we see in the discussion there and the commentary of the Acharyas, should be accompanied also with Bhakti. Jnana Yoga means I'm using more my intellect, my mind, to understand the Supreme. Karma Yoga means I'm using my activities, mainly of the bodily platform, as an offering to the Supreme. But if I perform Jnana Yoga, studying the scriptures, studying the Vedas, studying the Pancharatrika, studying this, studying the Upanishads, I should do it with bhakti. Right? Understanding this knowledge is related to the Supreme Sadhya, the Supreme Lord. So I'm studying the Vedic knowledge to understand, as Prabhupada said in the first, remember, the purpose of all the rules and regulations is to understand the Supreme Lord. So I'm studying all the Vedas. I'm a big intellectual. I'm a Brahminical type. I'm learned and so on, and I want to do it not just for the purpose of knowledge, because if we just search for knowledge without bhakti, the tendency will be that we will think that all the variety in the material world is the opposite of the spiritual world. And then the tendency we will think that the spiritual world is, as Prabhupada, impersonal. It is without variety. The material world is full of rules and regulations. I've got to become free of these by knowledge and merge into the Supreme Absolute. So that will be there if we don't have bhakti. If we study the Vedas and we learn the Upanishads and the Srimad Bhagavatam and so on, with an understanding, oh, this is about my beautiful Supreme Lord. This is all describing His qualities. He is discussed in here by the great sages, and it is filling my heart to see these wonderful descriptions of the Supreme Lord. Then Jnana, accompanied by Bhakti, is wonderful. But then Ramananda Roy said, Shravanam Ketanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. And then Mahaprabhu said yes, because that is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Amula Puran. And that is the best. The second verse says, Dharma Kaitavo, let me see. It says, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the perfection of knowledge, and it can be understood by those who are free of envy. This is very interesting. The first verse is a description how Krishna is the source of everything. It's the expansion of Janmadya Sheta. Everything comes from Krishna. Here's the second verse. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. So the karma yogi, even if he is impelled by some bhakti, he may be thinking, I'm going to go to the heavenly planets. So that's a material motivation. This Bhagavad Puran, and the same thing with the Jnani, he may be thinking, I'm learning this knowledge, I'm going to go to Brahmaloka, I'm going to Tapaloka, I'm going to heaven, and I'm going to be a great sage. Right above Swagaloka there is Jnanaloka, Mahaloka, Jnanaloka, Tapaloka, then Brahmaloka. And these are the lokas, realms of the great sages. This Bhagavad propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. That means paramo nimacharanam satam. They're not envious. They're not envious of any living entity. Now those people can understand the Bhagavatam. The highest truth is reality, Krishna, distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyas in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. As Prabhupada said in the first, the rules and regulations, the Vedas aim at giving God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of the Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established in the heart. As soon as one attentively and submissively means not like a zombie, but it means intelligently absorbing the message without a rebellious attitude. Using one's intelligence not to find fault or argue, but using one's intelligence to absorb the knowledge in the heart, to absorb the message of Veda Vyas and the greater Krishna. Once that attitude is there, then Krishna becomes established in the heart. So this is very wonderful, is it not? We study the Bhagavatam and we try to understand the message of the Acharyas, as Prabhupada finished the purport here, and then the Supreme Lord comes in our heart. So, what is Dhamma Prochito Kaitavotra? We discussed this in the Bhagavatam class last Monday. Did you go to the class Monday, Premnidhi? This is being taught by Mahaprabhu, and it's very important. It's very simple, but it is sublime spiritual knowledge for achieving, understanding, and entering the Leela of Krishna. And that is also in the Bhagavatam. Savai pumsam parad dharmo yuto bhaktir adhoksaja ahoitikiya pratyata yenatma suprasidati. The highest dharma is that by which one performs bhakti to the transcendental Lord adhoksaja. He's transcendental. That is the highest dharma. And then 2 words, ahoitiki apratyata. Ahoitiki means causeless, and apratyata means without sensation. So you are performing bhakti causelessly and without yenatma suprasidati. And then your soul will become perfectly peaceful. You will become above the modes of material nature, and you'll be able to perform Sanatan Dharma, the religion of the soul, the Jaiva Dharma. And Dharma, like I said, what does that mean in this context? Dharma, actually, the root meaning of Dharma is the essential nature, that which sustains. Just like the essential nature of fire is heat and light. The essential nature, the dharma of fire is heat and light. The dharma of water is clarity and liquidity. Right? That means you cannot separate those qualities from the substance. So the dharma of the soul, the Sanatan Dharma, is bhakti. And it is this ahoitaki bhakti, causeless devotion. What does that mean? I'm going to be devoted without cause. That means that I'm going to worship the Supreme Lord without desire for some fruit for myself. Now in the material world, Dhanam Janam Sundaram, Lord Chaitanya says, that people want to get wealth. They want to get position. They want to get sundaram, family, sex life. They want... Hello? Is it off? Is it okay? They want to enjoy sensually. So that is the material consciousness. We perform activities so that we can get wealth. We get a job or a business we start or so on. And then we want status in life. And then we want to have a family and children and so on and so forth. So this is material consciousness. We search for some fruit from our activities. But causeless devotion means that and then we bring this to spiritual life. And this is how people delay their spiritual enlightenment. They bring this greedy attitude to spiritual life and they think, I want to have this position in the spiritual world. I want to be known as a big acharya. I want to be learned. I want these fruits, and so on and so forth. So this is material consciousness. This means instead of desiring the material things, I'm now desiring the same things, more or less. I want to be a big acharya, big position, many followers, big money, but I'm doing it in the realm of so-called bhakti. So it's causeless devotion that Lord Chaitanya says. That means you render service how? So Lord Chaitanya explains that in that same verse, Janmani, Janmani, Ishwari, Bhagavad Bhakti, ahoitaki, ahoitaki means causeless. So causeless means that I am performing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, and Archanam, and so on, not for any fruit. I am performing these activities as an offering to Krishna, and I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. As an offering to Krishna, I'm saying, please you engage me in your service, but this is the secret. Not as I want. I want to attain Sakhya Ras. I want to attain Vatsalya Ras. I want to attain this. I want in the spiritual world. No. We chant with the idea, you decide Krishna. Do you understand this? I'm chanting, I'm saying Hare Krishna. What does that mean? I'm remembering Radha and Krishna. Hare means Radha. If I say to you now, Mother, you will think of my mother, my dear mother. You will immediately have a vision in your mind of your mother. But when you chant Hare Krishna, you should have immediately a vision of Radha and Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. You should immediately think of Smaranam, of Krishna, and your request, Hare Krishna means please engage me in your service, but as you decide. Now we know in the Vaishnava world that there are many Aprasampradayas, and they are thinking, like for example the Shakyavedis, they dress as women, right? Why? Because they want to be gopis. They're doing devotional service, but they're not causeless. They're doing devotional service and they're thinking, I want to be a gopi. So it is not causeless devotion. They are aspiring for something. Do you see my point? If I dress as a cowherd boy and wander around Vrindavan chanting, that means I want to be a cowherd boy. This is not causeless devotion. Causeless devotion means I want to serve as you see fit. And that is the sublime mood. And if you look at the spiritual world, you will see that the gopis have causeless devotion to the Supreme Lord. Mother Yashoda and the Vatsalya devotees, they have causeless devotion. The cowherd boys, the Shaka Ras, the Dasa, they are causeless in their devotion. They are not thinking, I want to serve Krishna in this way, to enjoy in this way. They are offering service and they're considering how Krishna will engage me. So this is ahoitiki bhakti. Now, if we serve in this light, then our Swarup will wake up. Our Swarup is our inherent constitutional devotional form. You understand this? We all have constitutionally a particular relationship. We are all particular personalities. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai. Krishna Prem is eternally established in the heart in a particular mood. But it will wake up when, right from the beginning of our sadhana, we practice causeless devotion. Do you understand this? And then our Swarup will awaken, because in the spiritual world, everyone has causeless devotion. So only if you are practicing causeless devotion, ahoitaki apratiyata, will your Swarup awaken. It's as simple as that. Your constitutional nature will awaken on that basis. And Lord Chaitanya emphasizes this point. He says, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, I'm fallen in this world, you pick me up and make me an atom of dust at your lotus feet. He doesn't say, oh, pick me up and make me a great personality in the spiritual world. Lord Brahma, he says, after the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he says, may I become grass, so that the gopis will walk upon me, and I'll get the dust of their lotus feet. And then the next sloka, and also there is another sloka, Krishna Bhakta Naishkam Atayeva Shanti. Bhukti Mukti Spriha Sakale Ashanti. Krishna Bhakti is nice, calm. He has no desire for his own position. His desire is to serve as is required or as is desired by Radha and Krishna. So, how Lord Chaitanya taught Vipralamba Seva Bhav. After Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, what is the next sloka? Can somebody tell me? Nayanam. Yes. That feeling separation, I am thinking one moment is like a yuga. So this is Mahaprabhu again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's teaching us that you should worship Krishna without personal aspirations for this or that in the spiritual world. You should have lolam, but you should do it from a position of vipralamba. you should chant, meditate on Radha Krishna, desiring service as they see fit, but understanding that I'm in the material world and I'm worshipping in Vipralamba. Now the Sahajiyas, what do? They imagine I'm in the Ras Leela, right? They have this Siddha Pranali, these ideas, and they think that they can enter the Leela of Krishna by their imagination, that they can walk into the or charge into the spiritual world on the basis of their imagination. But no, the devotee like Lord Brahma says, let me become grass, let me become a speck of dust, so that I can be humble. And what does Lord Chaitanya say at the end, the final verse? No? Oh yeah, he says that before, that's good. But at the end he says, Asli Shiva Paratam Panashtabam. He says, Lord Chaitanya teaching us this ahoitiki bhakti, which he has already said, Bhagavan Bhakti ahoitiki tvai, to you. What does he say at the end? He said, if you embrace me, that is your desire. If you trample me underfoot, that is your desire. But still you are my worshipable Lord. Right? This is a Hoitaki Bhakti. So this is very important, very, very important. That yes, we're Lolam, but we are desiring a Hoitaki Bhakti. We are performing meditation on Radha Krishna. Immediately we chant, we think of Radha and Krishna, and we chant in this mood of a Hoitaki Bhakti. I am desiring your service as you see fit. You understand this? Now this mood will wake up your Swarup. Do you understand the point? Because the Swarup of the Jiva is causeless devotion. Now where does this causeless devotion come from? It is there because Krishna is causelessly devoted to us. Krishna is the absolute truth. He is not limited in any way. Now try to understand this point. He has no requirements from anyone. He is not creating the jiva. He's not expanding in Shakti Tattva or Purusha Shakti because he needs something. He is doing this causelessly, without self-interest. He's doing it how? He described in the Shastra as Leela Mayi. He is expanding out of ecstatic emotion. So Krishna is causeless in his devotion to all the living entities and his expansions. And all his expansions and his living entities in the pure state are causelessly devoted. Do you understand this point? Do you see this now? And so we should understand this, and then we will not go to bhakti desiring something. I want this position in the spiritual world, that position. We will awaken our Swarup. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami tells the story of Gopakumar. And he is going here and there, but he's always in the mood of what? You know the story? A cowherd boy, right? Because that is his constitutional nature. But his constitutional nature also is causeless devotion. So if we understand this right from the beginning of our devotional practice, chanting is the best way to cultivate this causeless mood, then we will understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and our relationship directly and perfectly. You understand? We should not aspire for Dhanam, Janam, Sundaram. No, we chant in Vipralamba, in a mood of separation, with Lolam, but we're desiring to serve as Krishna sees fit. Do you see the point? And that is the mood of Krishna to his creation. He is the absolute supreme independent Lord. But out of his generosity, out of his kripa, he is engaging with everyone. So his devotion is causeless, and that's why we as Angsa are causelessly devoted in our pure state. Just like in the material world, the mother is causelessly, she's not trying to exploit the child, she serves the child according to the child's need. So in bhakti, that gives a hint. In bhakti, we serve, the gopis serve, the Vatsalya Bhav people serve, the cowherd boys, the Dasya Bhav, the Sambandha Bhav. All this is done for the satisfaction of the other. You understand? So we should understand that we shouldn't bring selfish motivation into bhakti. We do it with an open heart. Let me serve the spiritual master. Let me study the Shastra with an open heart. Let me serve Krishna with an open heart. And then, like it says, what is it? Krishna Bhakta Naiskam Atayeva Shanti, right? Mukti Mukti Siddhi Kami, the people who want this Bhukti and Mukti from the Vedas, Shakali Ashanta. They're not peaceful because they're still maintaining some idea of fruitive result. So that we must kick out right at the beginning. And so when we chant, we simply think, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let me serve according to your desire. And then we will realize Krishna very easily. This is the Shastra. And the previous verse is very important. I'll just say that. He who discards scriptural Shastra injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So the Sahajiyas, they have twisted Vaishnavism, they've invented Siddha Pranali, Diksha Patra, this one, that one, and there's all sorts of Manodharma, man-made religion. You cannot attain perfection through that. You can attain perfection through ahoitiki apratiyata, causeless devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In one lifetime. Not only one lifetime, in one moment. In one moment. Causeless devotion. Cast aside all that garbage. Right? Am I right, Sachi?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Any question?
No.
Okay then. Thank you for attending. I know all the demigods are here. That's where. So please come next Friday. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavad Gita Ke Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.